Morning, morning. Morning, everyone. Who is trading HFX Live? I'm not trading HFX Live, just is my name. So I think you're at the wrong stream. Woods Master. But if you don't know what we do here, more than welcome to stick around and see what I do. Hope everyone's had a really good, well-rested break. Just give people a couple minutes to join here, and then we'll make a start. Look at the 15-minute time frame. Seems like we're closing back above this support here. What's going on, folk? Well, hey.
How's it going?
How's it going, mate? You alright?
Yeah, good man, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good to be back.
Yeah, man, it feels great to be back. I feel like I had a well-rested break, to be honest.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was very nice. Morning, George. Morning, Imran. Yeah, do you know what? It feels good to be have a nice break, be fresh from the charts.
Yeah, especially after the December last year.
Oh yeah.
It was a bit rough.
Yeah, December was a rough month. So I've got a new pair that I'll be looking at for the beginning of this year. Euro,
Europe,
NZD.
yeah. There's a few good trades you were looking at the end of last year, weren't there?
Yeah, so I was looking at it and I was watching it towards the end of the month and the end of the year, and I noticed that it moves very similar to GJ at times. So I was like, okay, well, if I can find another pair that moves very similar, it would allow me to, take higher confirmation setups on both pairs, if that makes sense. Gives me an overall, like better performance. So just gonna watch it anyway. Don't want to jump into anything, but it looks like it trends really well on the 30-minute as well. So something that I noticed, and I've been doing a lot of like going back at London Open and just seeing how candles are closing. Like if you look at this particular example here, you can see how the 30-minute candle closed above the resistance, and then we did get that continuation. So it happens a lot of the time with Euro NZD, but just going to keep an eye on it for the minute. So we see here now on Euro NZD, we see how this 30-minute candle has closed below this support over here, so it should continue moving down, I would say, to at least this area here. So let's measure this range. See, this is like a 20 pip range. If you look on the 15-minute, yeah, see, this closed like a weak bullish candle, like a booby trap candle. So Euro NZD should continue moving down. See, that would have been a nice sell. So just gonna like paper trade it, watch it for the month, kind of like keep a record of the trades that I would take if they would have won, lost, etc. See how we get on for the month, and then if it's profitable on paper, then February I'll trade it with maybe like one lots, and then we'll see. Probably from March, be ready to take it on if it's good. Yeah, it's coming down now. Pretty nice. Euro NZD sells. Glad December is over with. Oh yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, I'm glad it's a new year, fresh start. I mean, like, the year didn't end well, but then, you have to reflect on what went well for the year, and that's kind of what I just held on to, was like all that I've achieved in a year with so much negativity, like the achievements that have been made, like just goes to show when we have a clear year, what can be achieved and done. So yeah, just looking forward to 2021. Have you guys bought Bitcoin? No, I haven't bought Bitcoin. I'm not buying.
Neither have I.
Yeah, I'm not gonna buy yet. If I was gonna buy, it's probably when I see Bitcoin have a huge sell-off. That's probably when I'm gonna try and get in. Hate the month in general, just not trading. This year gonna be a great one though. Yeah, I think this year's gonna be. I think this year's gonna be a great year. I really do. We got the new course coming in this year. That's gonna be amazing for the group. So it's gonna be, yeah. There's so much stuff this year, man. Oh, really. It's gonna be great. Right. Let's check out GJ here. So my idea here with GJ is we seem to be in this this consolidation area where we're having a lot of issues. So around pre-London we kind of tapped up into the zone. So when I first woke up, I see this 30-minute candle closing bearish as support. Obviously the bias was bullish, so I was a little bit skeptical. Wasn't gonna take sales, but I was thinking, okay, well if it can break the low, then it should continue down at that point. Never broke the low, so there's no sales at that point. I was looking at the buys when the candle closed bullish, but then I was like, okay, well let's measure, till we have resistance, and then we have resistance only like 8 pips away. We've kind of rejected here a little bit before, so I thought the best thing to do was to wait until we break above 141.100, and then I think it's going to be good to continue up to 141.250 and then on to 141.400. So at this point, we're probably just going to want to wait to see how London Open, what happens in London Open. Let's look on the 15-minute. So we have a bearish candle closing. Again, we had this. This is what I was didn't like about the buys originally, was this consolidation. On the 15-minute time frame, we'd be buying into a consolidation area, whereas once we're above 141.100, we have clean candles. So that's something I'm going to be focusing on here today. Plus, to start the week, I'm not going to want to take a bad trade. So it's going to be yeah. It's just going to take it easy. It's not going to take it easy, but just going to be, just going to make sure we're taking good confirmation trades to start the week here. Okay. So I think it's just at the moment, it's just kind of ranging, so just got to wait. But it's nice to see and nice to have everyone back on the YouTube. I do hope everybody had a nice break. I know some of you wouldn't have been able to see family members and stuff, so I do feel for you guys. But there we go. Just got to focus on trading now. Markets are back open. Volume is coming back, so let's have a good year. But there we go. Okay. Perfect. So this 30-minute candle is coming back down to this support. Okay, let's do a little bit of like a fresh analysis here, because not fresh, but we'll just start from the daily time frame and let's kind of work backwards here. So looking at the daily time frame, the bias is definitely bullish. The only issue I have now is that we broke the high of the previous daily candle before the weekend, and it seems as though we're retracing quite a bit. I was really expecting us to continue up to like the 141.800 mark, which is still possible, but it does seem like the London session is pushing price down a little bit. So let's take a look on what's going on the 4-hour. So if we look at the 4-hour, the bias is still bullish based on the 4-hour. We can see we have support over here at 14700, which seems to be the area which market also gapped and opened at. So this is kind of the area we need to stay above 14700 for price to continue. I think it's pretty important where this 4-hour candle goes. I think if we break the high of the previous 4-hour candle, then we can continue moving up to 141.300, this wick over here, and then continue on. Obviously at the same time, because we have a 4-hour candle closing bearish, if we break the low of the previous 4-hour, we could retrace to maybe need to form some further support. Something I don't think necessarily is going to happen, but it's something that could happen. So we obviously, every time we need to be willing to look at both sides of the spectrum. Yes, the bias is heavily bullish, which is why the sells would have to be a stronger confirmation sell. But at the same time, we need to also be looking at how can we take the opposite trade, and that would be looking at the 4-hour time frame. If we break the low of the previous 4-hour and respect the high coming into a high volume session, then there's a higher probability that we can continue moving down. Let's take a look at the 1-hour. Now, looking at the 1-hour time frame, if I just remove this level just for a sec, what we're going to see is that the 1-hour has a support right over here at 140,900. So we can see the 1-hour time frame is consolidating here between 141 and 140,900. We can see the 1-hour candle came all the way up into this area, 141,050, and it's now rejecting it. We've got 19 minutes for this 1-hour candle to close. The previous 1-hour candle closed like a week bearish, but it does seem like we're trying to come down and break below the support. So the first confluence we can have for a sell is probably going to be the 1-hour candle to close below this area in 19 minutes time. The second confluence there could be is we see how these candles respected the lows of each other on the 1-hour. It could also be once the 1-hour surpasses the low of the previous 1-hour. The only issue I have with that is that we broke the high of the previous 1-hour and now we're going bearish. So obviously this is what we would class as a liquidity grab. So now we're coming down. So probably the best thing to do is going to be to wait for at least the 30-minute candle to close below this area. We also have some rejections here based on the 30-minute time frame. So probably just waiting at this point. We know that we've got to wait at this point, but we're just kind of basing our ideas off the higher time frames, and we're saying, okay, we know the 1-hour is consolidating, so what's going to be our conditions? So now when we go back to the 30-minute, we're going to see, okay, if we look on the 30-minute time frame, we have a support right over here. So this is the area we'd want to see price, close below for us to continue down with volume. So that's kind of what I'm looking at here. So basically, the sells are going to be below 140,880 for us to continue down. We have clean candle here to the left hand side. We do have this wick over here to fill. Could be a rejection because we did reject it at market open, but obviously we're into a new session, so we'll just have to see. But at this point, we are just ranging and consolidating. So there's going to be a little bit of waiting involved, which is no problem. To be honest, I prefer coming on the stream and see price ranging, because then I know, okay, now I haven't got to do anything for a bit. I can chill out and just wait. When you come on the stream and price is already breaking out, you get a little bit, it's not FOMO, but it increases that, that feeling of, the move's already happening. You don't want to miss out. So it's nice to come on and just see price, not really doing much or just ranging. I find that a lot easier to kind of get on with. But there you go. You can never have it your own way. So we can see the 15-minute candles have retraced back to support. We do have a little bit of issues here on the 15-minute, but I mean, with volume, we would expect this minor support level to break. But we need a candle to break and close below support at 148.80. Morning. Everybody hear me okay with this mic?
Yeah, is it a new one?
It's actually the one that played the Indian music, but I'm just giving I'm giving it another chance because I prefer this headset.
Yeah, it sounds quite like crisp. I think it's decent.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. No, it's a good headset. It just so happened that one time that it picked up a radio station or something, but I like this headset, so I thought, you know what, I'm gonna give the headset a second chance. Give it a second chance to do its thing. So do let me know, everybody in the YouTube, if it starts doing anything weird, then I'll have to obviously change again. Oh, there we go. Just as I say that, there's music again. Can hear a radio. Oh, man. I was enjoying this. I was literally just sitting back thinking, oh, how nice this is.
Yeah, it's not going to happen again.
No, alright, I'm going to have to change over. There we go.
Unless Foe's like trolling you or something.
Yeah, unless he's trying to wind me up. No, I don't think he would. I don't think he's trying to wind me up. Okay, let me sort out the other headset here. It's pretty annoying that. I need to get one of these without... I need to just say to the guy, like, can you get me one? Oh, is he joking? Is he joking? Is he winding me up? I think he's winding me up. I'm pretty sure. Oh, no, no, he's not winding me up. He's not winding me up. I thought when he said apologies, he was joking around. There we go. Right, hold on. I'm going to sort this out. Why didn't you guys tell me earlier? Right. Right, Kelsey, can you hear me?
That radio music was gone.
Hold on. Can you hear me? Hear me?
Yep.
Perfect. Right, let me just sort out the YouTube. Can YouTube hear me now? I've changed mic. If you can just confirm that you can hear me okay. I think you should be able to. Yep, they can hear me. Perfect. Okay, change mic over here now. Awesome. Alright, cool. Yeah, sorry about that. Oh man, that headset, man, that is just annoying. I was really looking forward to wearing that today. It's gonna have to get binned. Just have to say to the guy, like, man, you sold me a headset and it keeps playing Indian music. What's going on? But there we go. Okay, so while we're waiting for GJ here, because it seems like the 30-minute is reacting off the support here, so just kind of consolidating right now. Let's look at gold here. Oh, looks like the bias there on gold was correct. Last night I sent out the webinar to the group, just explaining that I think gold's going to continue moving bullish, at least up to 1840. Seems like even I missed that move there. Something I was going to look to get in the London session, but seems as though I've missed this whole candle. So if we look at the analysis here, what you're going to see on gold is that we had a huge zone of rejection here, right? And then what you're going to notice is that these candles before the weekend was setting up, closing above this resistance. So if we look at this resistance, we see how these candles here were closing above this area and we're wicking down, doing a retest, rejections to continue bullish. So the analysis was, once we break this high, that we can continue moving up. We have a clean candle to the left hand side. So yeah, looks like that analysis played out overnight. Wasn't really expecting it to do that in the Asian session, but there you go. That's just how it goes. So yeah, we create support on the 4 hour. It broke the high and just continued moving bullish. I spoke about from the monthly, how the monthly time frame, the bias is bullish, and that we could revisit now 1880, 1890 at this point. So yeah, it's pretty good to see that play out. So let's do some fresh analysis here on gold. So if we go to the 4 hour, so we spoke about the 4 hour created support. It seems like gold is trying to make a high. Probably going to see some form of pullback, but the target is still going to be 1938, somewhere around this level. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. So if we look on the 1 hour, we're going to see that the 1 hour time frame created a support over here for gold to continue moving bullish. So it created support. The next 1 hour candle came up to fill it. It's now retracing a bit. Let's take a look on the 30-minute time frame. So it seems like the 30-minute created a high over here, and it seems like we created support, but this current candle broke the high, which should have continued, but now is coming back in the range. So there's a little bit of consolidation. So this is the point at which you probably want to wait for price to consolidate for a little bit and then continue in a given direction, closing above, and then continue moving bullish. If we also look on the 30-minute, we're probably going to want to pull this down because we have a deep support over here. So we're a little bit of a range here on gold, but the target's still going to be the same, because even if we look on the 30-minute, we just have a complete clean candle to the left. Probably will neaten this up a little bit based on the 30-minute, because this was a previous area of consolidation at 1937. So I think that's going to be a good target for gold if we can get there. So let's measure this range. If we are correct with volume, then we have another 125 pip range. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So we just have to wait here for gold to kind of set up, and then we'll see if it's just going to consolidate for a bit and then continue moving bullish. Back to GJ. What's GJ doing? So GJ's back at support. We've got 8 minutes left. 8 minutes left. See the 15-minute candle, it came down to support and it tapped into support and it retraced. We're now looking at the next 15-minute candle is breaking the low of the previous 15-minute candle. So it can continue moving down at this point, but the safer thing for us is going to be to wait for the candle to close below, and then we can look for a nice sell to come down to 146.70. So I'm personally going to be waiting here these 7 minutes and then see what happens. Happy New Year. Thank you. Is Euro AUD a good pair to trade this year for New York session? For pre-New York? Yeah, that's okay, because you've got just the euro that's open. AUD is closed, so yeah, that's okay. I would say euro AUD is probably going to be better to trade in the London session. It's going to be better, but there's still going to be volume, so that's up to you. That's fine. So let's look at the 15-minute here. We got 7 minutes left for the 15-minute and the 30-minute candle to close. So if the 30-minute and the 15-minute candle close below this area, then I think we can have a nice sell coming down to 146.75. Probably keeping the stop loss above the previous 15. But we do need this candle to break and close below, because we're coming into London Open at this point. So if we have a candle closing below this level, then we can expect the volume with London Open to continue us bearish. Despite the bias being bullish, this is why it's going to be important to wait for candles to close, because the bias is bullish. We were consolidating, and we would need a strong confirmation for a sell at that point, because the higher time frames are still in an uptrend. So it seems as though the break of this 15-minute low was partially a push for price to continue down, but it's it's very risky. So we're just gonna wait. Ooh, seems like it's pushing down over here, GJ. Yeah, let's look at the 5-minute. Yeah, it was a little bit difficult. Yeah, so I don't know if anybody took sells once the candle broke the low, but should be into profits at this point. 13, 12 pips. But that's okay. Perfectly fine. It's a Monday. It's the first day of the week. Not going to want to rush into a trade, especially an impulse entry on the first day of the month. Well, the first trading day of the month. So the best thing that I want to see is, the 30-minute close below. If you look at the 1 hour time frame, so we spoke about that on the 1 hour, that if it broke the low of the previous 1 hour, it can continue moving bearish. But then, it also broke the high, so it was like a little bit of a tricky candle over there. So yeah, just gonna wait to see how we close. Hopefully it's gonna retrace, and then yeah, but we're just gonna wait. So while we wait, let's check out gold. What's gold doing? 30-minute candles also got 4 minutes left to close over here. So if the 30-minute candle can close above this minor resistance here, then it does pave the way for the next 30-minute to also continue moving bullish. Seems like GCAD is also trying to continue moving down. Kind of done a similar thing to GJ here. Trying to close below support. We have clean traffic to the left. Euro JPY. Euro JPY is still in that range from the Asian session. Oh no, it broke out and then came back in the range. So if the 30-minute candle closes below this area on EJ, then EJ can also continue moving down to this next support, which is around 20 pips away. Got a few things going on here. Ooh, Euro NZD. Euro NZD candle came down, pushed 10 pips into profit, so could have secured positions, but actually it then retraced to break the high of the previous 30-minute. Let's look on the 15-minute. Yeah. So because this 15-minute candle closed with no wick to the bottom, the next one came up to break the high. But you still could have secured positions, I suppose, which is the main thing. Let's go back to GJ. Oh, nice. We're seeing a retracement. Perfect. Let's look on the 15-minute time frame. Awesome. So we've got a nice wick to fill over here. If it can close... So if this 30-minute candle and the 15-minute candle can close below this area, then I think GJ can continue moving down. I think that one candle to the left is going to be an issue on GJ, to be honest. I mean, yeah, it can be an issue, but when we're looking at the most recent price action, if GJ was going to go bullish, in the London session, we're coming up to the London session now. This is the London session, right? So we already had support. We're not respecting support. We're trying to close below this level. We rejected this resistance, so the current price action is definitely bearish. And we've got around 50 seconds left here for this candle to close. And if it closes below, then I'm gonna be taking sells with the stop above the previous 15-minute candle, and then expecting price to continue down with London open volume down to 146.75. That's going to be pretty good, because then the 30-minute would also be closing below this area, and then we should continue down at that point. But we need it all. It needs to close below 148.80 for the sells to be valid. Awesome. We're in sales over here. Took sales on the close. Stop loss is below the previous candle, 15-minute candle. Awesome. First trade to start the year here. Let's go, GJ.
It literally pushed about like 7 pips in the first second.
Yeah, I saw that, but I didn't get a chance to do anything with that. Perfectly fine. But there we go. So instantly into profit, no problem. Let's look on the 30-minute candle close below. I think it's going to continue. Obviously, it needs to make some form of top wick, but it may not. It may not.
Yeah, I'm just going to watch this week, do some back testing.
Yeah, definitely.
While on the live streams and that.
Yeah, 100%. So this is the first trade here of the year. First trade of the year. GJ sells. Bro, how much capital do I need to make $1,000 per month? I mean, don't necessarily need a specific amount, but it's a bit of a difficult question, to be completely honest. Oh, let's look at the 5-minute here because we want to be cautious. It's a little bit difficult here. That's fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So how much capital do I need to make $1,000 per month? I would say it's a little bit difficult because it's not necessarily, how much you need to make $1,000. It's, kind of what you're willing to lose in a day. It's kind of more to do with what you're willing to lose, and then based on what you're willing to lose, you want to at least make like kind of equal to that, or you want to make more than that. So if you think your losses are going to be I don't know, like $1,000 a month, how are we going to make 1,000? I would just say like I think that's quite a difficult question. How would you answer that, Kels?
Like if you used high leverage, you could have like $100 account and somehow make $1,000.
Yeah, of course.
And then you could have like a 10,000 account and only make 500. Like, yeah, I think the way you said it, like how much you actually want to lose, because that's what you should be focusing on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Because actually, yeah, that's probably something I should say. Like, you shouldn't really be aiming to make a certain amount, because when you first start trading, you want to be focusing on, okay, well, what do I need to start? How much do I need to start trading? And I would say, okay, well, you probably need a minimum of $100, £100, right? And then that way you can start trading, penny lots and start using the proper risk management and the skill set. So what I was going to say here was my current kind of thing here is if this candle, because I was expecting it to make a top wick, which was no issue, but what I want to see is if it breaks its own high, that's probably the point at which I'm going to close 50%, because we was expecting with volume the 8 a.m. candle to continue us down, but sometimes there's a little bit of a delay with the London Open volume, but giving it a chance here to breathe and whatnot. But yeah, I think you should focus on saying, okay, well, how much do I need to get started, or how much do I need to, start trading, and then I think that's gonna be better, because then once you start seeing how much you can make in a month for yourself, then you can say, okay, how much do I need in my account to use the same risk management to make that same percent gain? Do you know what I'm saying? I think that's gonna be a better way to kind of view it. When you say, Kelsey?
Yeah, like I suppose as well, like if you're trying to win $1,000 and obviously you've got 1-to-1 risk to reward, you're going to be risking at least $1,000 if you need be. Yeah, so like you'd have to be willing to lose that as well.
Oh, 100%.
And if you think that's too much, then you can't expect to be up £1,000 or whatever in a month.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So let's look at the 5-minute closed. So the 5-minute closed bullish, but it closed below this area, so that's good so far. We probably just want it to see respect this high on the 5-minute now, and then start to push down. Is what I want to see anyway. Look on the 30-minute. Let's look on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so if we look at the 1 hour as well, even the 1 hour candle closed below this area. It's now started to wick up. So I think definitely the sells are looking more. Yeah, I think the sells are looking good at this point. Obviously, it's a counter trend trade, but still, the confirmations were there for sells, so just have to see. Let's look on the 5-minute, because if we break this high on the 5-minute, this is the point at which I'm going to close 50% of the position. I really want to see it respect this 5-minute high for us to continue down. It's important. Go on 5-minute flip. It's creating nice structure to continue down on the 5-minute. I've seen this structure many a times, but what can happen is if it breaks this high, it's going to come right back up into this range, which is obviously not what we want. So just going to be obviously caution with risk. See, that's the most thing, you know, when I look at, I never started off thinking, okay, how much am I going to make from trading? I thought about what can I start with and what can I aim for to make? What can I aim to make? That's what I kind of like in terms of a percentage, you know, like if I had £100 account, you know, if I was doing 2-3% a week for £100 account, that's pretty good, because then, you know, when it's £1,000 account or £10,000 account, it translates into a bigger number, but it's the same percentage. Come on, 5-minute. There we go. 5-minute candle flipping. Is it going to continue down? Or did it just want to make a bottom wick? So I think we at least want to see this 15-minute candle closing below this area, or closing bearish, and then, you know, we can manage the trade at that point. That's that's kind of like the important thing, is we want to always see, you know, how can we manage the trade. So look on the 5-minute. Yeah, it's coming down nice. Once we break this low, then I think we're going to head down to 140.675. Nice. Come on, GJ. 6 pips now. Up about 6 pips. 7 pips here. Very nice. Come on, GJ. There we go. Ooh, we're pushing into profits at this point. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's a nice wick to fill.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, I really want to see it continue moving down at this point. Yeah, I didn't mind it making a top wick, but you see now we've broken the low on the 5-minute. So as long as this 5-minute candle closes bearish, I think the sells are gonna be good. Gonna tighten up the stop loss a little bit here, because now we're not expecting this candle to go bullish or break its own high at this point. So probably gonna start to reduce the risk. I love the new update on Magic Keys. Has the how much pips you're in profit up in the top right. It's perfect. You can see exactly when I hit 10, 9, just get in and out. It's awesome.
I haven't seen that yet. I have to give that a go
awesome.
next week.
Love the new update. There we go. Last 5 minutes here. If we break this low, then with volume, we're going to continue down to 140.670, and we're going to start the month off. I'm going to start the year off perfect here. A nice sell. It's kind of floating around 5-6 pips right now, but it's perfectly fine. See how the 5-minute candle's closing. It's closing bearish, which is pretty good. That's very positive sign. So we have a strong bearish candle closing at this point. So now we would need it to break the low of the previous 5-minute, and then this is gonna continue down with the 15-minute candle here. Do the magic keys update automatically? No, you have to. You'll get an email. You'll get an email to say there's a new magic keys update, and then all you have to do is download that. And then when you go onto your MetaTrader, you just want to like not reinstall, but you say repair. So you repair magic keys, and then it will like re-update your trade newer version. Look on the 5-minute here. Yeah, once this 5-minute candle flips bearish and breaks the low, it's gonna continue down. But so we've got what, 3 minutes left also for the candle to close. So we do obviously want to see how the 15-minute candle closes, because it's the first half of the 30-minute also. So we need it to close bearish for the sells to still be, because we haven't been in a position to secure any profits or positions yet, so just gonna wait. Maybe this is the retest. But if this kind of breaks its own high, then see, that's the point. I'm not going to want to be in the trade, because then we'd be coming back up into the range. There's a higher probability we'll break the high of the previous candle. So really managing risk and making sure the candle's closing in my direction in 3 minutes time. And then the stop loss is going to be in a perfect position for this high to be respected and for the next candle to continue down. Yeah, loving this new update on magic keys. Oh, here we go, 5-minute. Come on, 5-minute. Once we break this low, I think we're gonna have a really nice day here today to start the week. Very excited. Here we go, back up 6 pips again. Come on, GJ. 7 pips now. See, if we break this low on the 5-minute, I think we're heading downtown. Just needs to break this low on the 5-minute, and then we are heading downtown. Look at this 5-minute candle. Came up to create like a liquidity wick. If it breaks this low, then we are off to the races. 1 minute 50 left. Go on, GJ. There we go. I think it's about to break the low in the last minute here of the candle. Ooh, struggling. Okay. Nice. We're up about 8 pips at the moment. 9 pips. Perfect. Coming into profits now. Very nice. 9 pips. Awesome. Awesome. Secured positions at 10 pips. Closed everything at 10 pips. Perfect. Perfect trade to start the week. Lovely.
Well done. Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Awesome. There we go. 10 pips secured there. GBP JPY sells to start the week, to start the new year. Awesome. Yeah, I love that. There we go. So if you caught this trade, if you caught these sells on GBP/JPY, drop a like on the stream, drop a W in the chat. Ooh, perfect. Should come right down to 14700 there. That's really nice. Yeah, it's worth a story, that one. Got to get that on the story. Yeah, drop a W in the chat if you caught this trade. Perfect. Secure positions at 10 pips. Yeah, fantastic. Ooh, look at that. We're dropping hard now. We waited patiently, and the sells played out. Perfect. Look at that. Yeah, I secured all my positions. Start the week off here. This week, I'm focusing on getting 10 pips, 10 pips, 10 pips every time, and then that's it. Bang. Done. Look at that. We should continue down now to 146.75 target. Awesome. We got a few people there. Took that trade. Very nice. Oh, yeah. Look at this. It's like 20 pip range over here. Very nice. Should be up around 15 pips now. 14 pips at this point if people held sells. Awesome. Awesome. So I hope everybody secured positions. And there we go. We've been on the stream 40 minutes. Okay, let's put this up here. Trades today. GJ sells. Fantastic. There we go. Nice. Let's look at gold here. Oh, yeah, we missed this move here on gold. Anybody catch these buys? I was too focused on GJ, but I did say if you paid attention, if the 30-minute candle closes above this resistance, it paves way for the next one to continue bullish. So that was a free trade right there. You should be up around 50 pips if you took those gold buys. So I hope people was paying attention there, because that was a real nice move there on gold. But yeah, it looks like GJ came down to fill both the wicks over here. Looks like it's having some issues around 147.50, but that's fine. I'm in and out of this trade now. Secured my positions and I'm out. Fantastic start to the year. So there we go, 20 past 8, and we're done for the day. We're done for the day. If you did secure positions and you're leaving a piece to run, then I would suggest putting stops at break even and letting the rest run. So yeah, maybe the 4 at sea. We spoke about this. We spoke about this perfectly. If it respected the high, if the 4 hour respected the high and broke the low, the higher probability for us to continue down. Looks like it's about to reach our target over here. Yeah, nice. Perfect. Perfect. 14700 reached. Awesome. Are you using reduced risk since it's beginning of the month? No, I didn't use reduced risk. I used my full 5 lot position, secured 10 pips, and yeah, that's it. I think I actually got out at like 9.5, but still. So did you have a good Christmas, Kels?
Yeah, it was good, mate.
Good, man.
Wasn't too bad.
Nice.
Bit different than usual, but
Yeah,
still made the most of it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Oh, GJ's still going over here. So if you took those sells, you should be well into profits. That actually moved around 20 pips. Wow.
How was yours?
Yeah, not bad. I mean, again, like, not a usual Christmas, but yeah, it was still good, mate. You know, just yeah. I think
Tell you what, it went.
I think it was just nice to have a break from trading because I've been going hard
Yeah,
since
you have.
January. Like I've been doing, like man, there was points back in the summer where I was getting no sleep. You know, I was just grinding. So it was actually nice to just feel like I deserve 2 weeks of just doing nothing. Like I did nothing. Like I mean, I looked at a little bit of chart work, but that's just because, like, I'm not saying I'm addicted, but it's like, it's just habit, and it? Like, you got, you know.
Yeah.
So I did a couple sims to prepare for the course. I did a couple webinars, but most of the time I just wanted to completely chill out and, you know, like, yeah, so. But I have to say, it does feel great to be back and to start the year with a nice winning trade. Yeah, it feels great. Feels great. You know, especially like how December left me. It left me a bit battered. So obviously I had a bit of time to like reflect, and I kind of ended up saying to myself like, you know, okay, look, December was a write-off. You know, it is what it is. You took a few losses. Just that's trading, right? You sign up to that. So when I said that to myself, and then I said, actually, do you know what? Forget that. Just think about everything you've achieved this year. You know, really think about everything you've achieved. And then when I sat back and I realized how far I'd come, it made me realize how, you know, that's a nothing setback. You know, like, you know. And then I asked myself the question because I was watching a lot of, you know, like really good videos on YouTube over Christmas, like not motivational ones in the sense that I listen to them, but it's something I used to listen to a lot. So before I ever even merely was on my way to success, I used to listen to the, you know, motivational videos and stuff, and I always thought that would help me. But actually it was when I stopped listening to them and I actually just started putting it into practice and telling myself, you know, get out of bed, do this, do that. That was when actually I started to live the motivation. But like rewatching those, like it made me realize like how far I've come. So, that's why I just thought, okay, well, it'll be actually nice to just take some time off and then come back to the charts fresh. And then this year, like I'm going harder than ever. Like, I reckon by Easter I could be trading 8 lots, 10 lots. So we'll see. But yeah, it's just gonna be nice to. Yeah, I think it was just nice to have a break, to be honest.
Yeah, good to hear. Like it went really quick as well, but like you're saying about them motivational videos, I do feel you on that. Like you sometimes used to sit there, just watch them, and you think it's going to give you that motivation, but it don't. Like you have to just do it yourself.
Yeah, yeah. I think they're good to kind of guide you. Like if you're struggling for motivation, like you can obviously go listen to them, and they will give you some good points. But actually, like the one truth about any motivational speaker or video is that there's one thing they can't teach. There's one thing that they can't implement into you. They can tell you that you got to get up every morning. They can tell you to read more. They can tell you to exercise more. All these things are going to help you, with your mental strength and stuff. But there's one thing they can't teach, and that is desire in the heart. And when you have the desire in the heart and the true, inner, like you want it so bad to the point that like there's actually one video that I watched. There was a motivational video, and it was probably the best one I've ever seen. And it wasn't about kind of rambling on about do this, do that. It was one thing. It was a minute long, and what he said is, it was an interview actually, and the guy said to him, he said, "Oh, you're obviously a motivational speaker. What would you say to people?" And he would say, "Okay, I want everybody to hold their breath for as long as they can." So got everyone to hold their breath, and then after about obviously a minute and a half, you could see people were like having palpitations to gasp for air, and one guy like went the longest, and he was like going red because he was trying to obviously breathe. And once the guy obviously tried to breathe, it was like and he was like, he said, "What did that feel like?" And he just said, "Well, if I didn't have any air, like I was desperate for air." And he said, "Okay," he said "until you want success in the same way that you needed that air, that you were desperate, that you're basically to the point where it's something that you need, like, and it's that real desperation, right?" I mean, that was the analogy that he kind of used, and it just really it resonated a little bit, in the sense that you need to want it as bad as you want to breathe when you can't breathe.
That's so true.
Yeah, you need to want it more than anything. Like, you can do all the right things. You can get up every day at a certain time. You can have routine. You can have everything. But if you don't want it in the heart, it's gonna show in the performance. So, first of all, it's got to come from the passion, the desire, the will, everything. And once that's asserted, then all other things will naturally fall into place, and then that's when you can make adjustments to performance to be better, but the desire has to be the same, and it has to be consistent with it. So, man, that was probably the best one. And then that's when I realized, okay, I need to stop watching them and start living it.
No, but it's good. Like you come on here every day and like you help people out, and you kind of give that motivation, through the live streams in itself.
Oh, 100%.
People just need to apply their own twist. They can use a lot what you like, what you preach and stuff, but on the charts they can find their own edge and make the most of it.
Oh, 100%. 100%. I mean, I don't know. It's like I got a message from a guy the other day, right? And he was just saying, he was kind of giving me. I'm not gonna say a name or anything. This is just because I've had a few people actually do this, but this was kind of like the worst one. Not the worst, but the most someone's ever like really come to me in this way. And he was basically saying like, oh, he's having real bad money problems and stuff like that, and he wants to trade to make his money. He wants to trade to make money because he wants to sort out his problems that he's having. And like, I just sat down and I realized like most people who were educators or mentors would say to this guy, okay, well, I can do that for you, but you need to buy this. They wouldn't even give a shit about his situation. Whereas me, I'm not that type of person. And I said to him, look, mate, I'm going to be completely honest. If you're coming in with that attitude, then forget it. It's not going to work for you. Like, I'm not even going to lie to you and say, yeah, man, come to the live streams. You can make money. Like, I'm not even going to say that to him. If you come in with an attitude of a desperation in the sense that you're not in the right mindset to make money, like, man, he's going to come out of the market even worse off. And I can't see that happen to someone. So I had to tell him, that's not the right way to go about it. So what I did, I said to him, look, if you want to make money, right, then obviously, go either one, look for another job. But if you're serious about trading, like if you want to make money through trading, then don't use your problems as a way to make money from trading. You let it motivate you that you're in a hole now, but with consistency or hard work over years, you can turn around your situation. Don't see it as there's gonna be no easy way out of your situation. There's gonna be no easy way. You have to think about, what's gonna, for the long term, what's gonna get you out, and that's gonna be, improving your income and things like that. So basically, I put him in the right way, and I just said, look, the best thing to do is to go to babypips.com, start learning, right? And then in a few months' time, if you don't think that it's for you, then don't bother. You don't need to, like, so many people have been, it's not even brainwashed, but it's obviously like, it's just that we talk about it all the time, don't we? Everyone thinks trading is the get rich quick, or it's the place to make money. Like, it doesn't actually work like that. Like, anywhere is the place to make money. YouTube the place to make money, Instagram, but there's only a selective few that do, because they do it the right way, and they know how, they've gained experience and all that stuff. But yeah, I mean, like, it was pretty crazy for someone to message me this, but obviously I had to help in the best way that I could. So I just gave him the advice that I would expect a true person to tell me, and that is to, don't rely. There's not going to be no easy way out of your situation. Obviously, unless you won the lottery, but it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to sell anybody like a dream that they're going to get out of their financial situation. The way you get out of your financial situation is just pure hard work. And like, if you want to get out of that situation that bad, you'd be willing to do whatever it takes to get out of that. So there you go. But looks like GBP JPY continued moving bearish. It's perfect. Hit right to target. Awesome. So obviously we was talking about if it broke the high of the previous 5 minutes to reduce risk. It never did. I think even once this 5 minute, right? I mean, I know the 5 minutes a weaker time frame confirmation, but look at the structure here. Even if we look on the 5 minute time frame, so this was the candle that broke support. Then we had the pullback. So this was your pullback. Then we had the retest candle. And if we look at the retest candle, it closed very weak. So when we had a nice strong 5 minute candle closing in our direction, we now had the resistance form. So if this was a 15-minute time frame, I would have been in sells all day, right over here. This would have been my sell entry here, right, as we break this low to continue down. Okay, so now we're looking at it from a 5 minute perspective. I mean, it completely makes sense. Completely makes sense. So yeah, this was a nice structure on the 5 minute for price to continue down, and we can see now it's still going. Again, here we had a weak 5 minute candle. Next one just came down, broke the low. So I think GJ looks like it's going to continue further down at this point. But yeah, my trading day is complete. Oh yeah, it looks like GJ's continue down. So the next target here is going to be 140.500, because we look left. Obviously, we have this rejection wick here, so there's going to be some issues maybe. But essentially, we do have these clean candles here to the left. So So from the entry, the runner would be up about 25 pips right now. It's pretty good. Ooh, wow, still continuing down. See, GJ could dump because look at the structures bullish. I mean, if we drop, then we could just continue because we have a lot of liquidity zones to hit, maybe before heading back up. I mean, we have this whole zone here. This is a liquidity zone on the 4 hour, so we'd obviously want this 4 hour. Sorry, this is the 1 hour time frame. We would want this 1 hour candle to close below 146.50 into these rejection wicks for then, you know, there to be like a rejection to the upside and then price to continue, because then we can hit maybe around 14400 to 14300 in the New York session. Gold is gone. Oh yeah, see, did anybody take those gold buys? Because always come right up to target there, man. I wish I was in on those buys. I was so focused on GJ, I missed it.
Was that like a gold trade that was just like a great setup? You take that if you, yeah.
Oh, 100%. If I see this on gold, yeah. This is probably one of the best setups you can get, because, you know, if you look at the trend, it's heavy bullish. You get a little bit of consolidation coming into, you know, pre-London, and then what we see is, okay, so this is the point at which I would have looked for buys because we had a support formed, and then as we break the high we can continue up, but it's gold, so it's not going to exactly do everything the same way that I would see fit. So then I said to myself, okay, well, I know one thing on gold, and is that if a 30-minute candle closes above a resistance, that's a very strong confirmation on gold. But most of the time when that happens, it just runs and you don't get a chance to get in. So when you see a candle like this closing above this area and giving you a perfect position, man, I would have just rid that, because we had a complete clean candle to the left. In fact, if I don't know if you watched the analysis on gold yesterday, but this whole move was called out. I could tell by the daily that come Monday this was gonna happen. I could tell by Monday this was gonna happen. So, but yeah, I missed it. All that, and I missed it. See, if there was no, but honestly though, if there was no GJ trade, I would have been in gold. I know, like, to start the year and stuff, would I have taken a trade on gold? But this is like the setup that I've seen happen many a time. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, that could be a nice. But yeah, there you go. So I would definitely journal that for anybody who's not sure. You know, the move started in the Asian session. So the analysis from the Asian was obviously, okay, ignore this big candle because that wasn't there. And I said, okay, so we know that a support was formed before the weekend. So it's very important what happens here, because if we break the low, then we can correct some of it, which is why the target was down here. But actually I said, you know, once we break above this high, that's the point at which gold will continue up based on the daily, because we have a lot of targets to reach on the higher time frames. So it's pretty good. So let's check out a few other pairs here, because GJ doesn't really matter to me at this point now. Obviously we'll still watch it, maybe for those who are in sales, but let's go to Euro NZD. Yeah, so it seems like it did a fake out over there. Let's look on the 30-minute. Yeah, it seems they've done a fake out. Reacted off this previous area here, but still the sell still would have played out, because, you know, once the candle closed below, it did push 10 pips into profit before retracing, and anyway, you would manage the trade accordingly at that point anyway. But it had a nice structure to continue down. It just so happened that it didn't. Sorry. Let's look at Euro JPY, just consolidating, just ranging. Let's actually bring this down here. We can neaten this up. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, EJ just still consolidating. I think good target's going to be right over here, because we have these clean candles to the left. It's going to be pretty good. And then we also have our target mapped for sells. Wow, it's like 8:40. Usually we're still waiting. So this is like, don't really know what to do at the moment. What do we do? No, I'm joking. So yeah, it looks like GCAG kind of done the same thing. Also, 30-minute candle closed below. Next one, yeah, moved around 10 pips into profits. Look on the 15-minute. Yeah. FTSE. Ooh, FTSE's moving bullish. Also spoke about yesterday on the webinar. Higher time frames. Like the weekly and the monthly. Did actually speak about the monthly come up to fill this wick. Wasn't expecting it on the Monday, I have to admit, but there we go. So let's see how we could have caught this move. So we had a break above. Okay, let's just clear everything here. So from a 30-minute perspective, let's look at the levels. So obviously this is where the market. No, that wasn't when the market opened. The market opened over here. We had price pushing up. We had a support formed in the Asian session, or kind of like early hours of pre-London. Support was formed. So I think the ultimate buys was right over here because we had a 30-minute candle. So we had consolidation, and then we had a 30-minute candle close above. Now, okay, let's be like cautious here because we can say, okay, we have rejections here. In this area here, we also have some rejections right over here. So where could we have looked for buys? I suppose on this retest candle was the best place. So let's look on the 15-minute. Yeah, right over here, the break of this 15-minute high would have been the best place for buys. Right over here. Yeah, because we had these clean traffic coming up to this area here. Look on the 30-minute. Yeah, we had. Yeah, makes sense. Completely makes sense because that would have been breaking the 30-minute high also, and then we could expect we would continue moving up. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So we looked at the FTSE. We've checked out gold. Yeah, there's still clean traffic on gold on the higher time frames, but when I see a big move like this in London, there's usually quite a heavy pullback for MY and then a continuation. So now that we've seen a big push, I would probably be expecting there to be some pullback and then a continuation with New York session. So yeah, looking at Euro NZD though, I mean, how could you taken the opposite trade? I mean, the only way you could have taken buys is once the candle broke the high, did move into profits, made sense. Yeah, bit difficult though. I think that's not, but yeah, we're just watching it at this point anyway. Let's go back to GJ. Looks like it had some issues in this wick area here to the left. Yeah, it's pulling back at this point. But yeah, perfect sells there on GJ. Really pleased with that. Man, so I've ended up smashing my phone in the top left hand corner, and for some reason the whole top quarter of my phone doesn't work. So I can't even upload the profits from this morning, because it won't let me go on the history to even be able to change the date. Yeah, it won't let me do nothing, man. It's just annoying. Might have to log in on my iPad or something. But there we go. I think if people are also looking for sells, if the next 15-minute candle closes bearish below this minor support, which is, you know, kind of like the rejection, then there's a very high chance that it's going to continue moving bearish. Man, I want to... That is so irritating, that is. Man, these phones, yeah, the screen costs more to fix than the phone itself. It's crazy. So the minute I can work out how to get my history uploaded on MetaTrader, I will. Oh, in fact, I can just do it from my MT5, couldn't I? I could just take a photo. Let's do that now then. So we want history, and we want today's date. Today. There we go. I do like posting it from my phone, but it's not working. So we got a guest coming on Friday. We got Stop Loss Matters coming in on Friday, and then we're gonna get Gorilla Strength next Friday. He was supposed to come on in the new year, but then I was having a few issues with my computer actually. So yeah, I think we're gonna get him on next Friday. But yeah, we're gonna have Stop Loss Matters coming in on Friday. He's another London sessions trader actually. But yeah, just be nice to have a chat with him. Right, yeah, I'm gonna have to upload this from my MT5 terminal. we go. Uploaded. Yeah, I've had to upload it from MT5. Okay. Yeah, so I think if people miss these buys, I think you missed the move here for a little bit, because it's more than likely going to pull back for pre-New York session now. Euro GPY still ranging. GCAD looks like GCAD continue moving down. Looks like GCAD was an okay day today, Kels.
Yeah, as usual.
Yeah, apart from the 15 minute. 15 minute was actually a little bit messy. But from a 30-minute perspective, well, actually, I suppose actually it was a pretty nice day, because once this 30-minute candle closed below, let's see about the stop loss. Alright, yeah, your stop would have been pretty big. Well, nah, 15 pips for GCAD isn't actually too bad. Yeah, actually would have been a pretty nice day there on GCAD. Moved down around 15, 16 pips. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, I think this year I'll probably just stay away from GCAD and just focus on GJ, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea too, mate. But yeah, it's still nice to like, because even though it's a different pair, like you're seeing the same thing happen, you know. So it's just reiterating. Your NZD coming back down. I wonder if it's gonna break it now. So just gonna watch here with your NZD. Once we break this support, though, we have a clean candle here to the left. Higher time frame Euro NZD is bearish too. I was looking at the monthly, and we look at the monthly. Right, look at the previous monthly candle. It closed a week bullish. So if we break the low of the previous monthly candle, we can continue down. I think that'd be, for like a swing setup, I think that would be a pretty good swing setup. But still, just an idea. I wouldn't obviously execute, but just an idea. Oh, FTSE still moving bullish. See again here, created support on the 15-minute time frame, and now it's continuing to move up. Very nice. See, these are the days I like, you know, nice, easy, clean moves. You can journal your trades. Perfect. So do you reckon they're gonna put us back into national lockdown?
Yeah, I probably. I mean, like, for us, it isn't going to make much of a difference, is it?
Nah, you're in tier 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Yeah, for us it makes no difference, but just for the sake of it, I think they're just gonna probably put us in tier 5, which isn't even existing right now. But you know what they're like.
Yeah, they'll be sure to make that up quick.
Yeah. Yeah, do you know what's really funny actually? So I haven't even seen this film, but a mate of mine was telling me. So Apparently on Netflix, there's a film. I can't remember what it's called, but it's basically about a global pandemic, and it's actually about. I mean, I know some people might think COVID is going to be the wipeout of the human race, but obviously anyone with logic would know it's not. But there's a film on Netflix, and it's basically about a global pandemic. But this pandemic is about a virus that it basically goes like straight to the brain, and you're dead within 24 hours. So it is really, like the human race is on the verge of extinction. No, not I Am Legend. Not I Am Legend. It's something else. I'll get the name of it. But anyway, everything that's happened so far, it's really weird because I watched the trailer, and everything that's happened that all the world governments have done happened in this film. National lockdowns, tiered systems, not seeing
Really?
not seeing family
What?
members, social distancing, everything, hand sanitizer. It's all the same. It's literally like they've watched this film. I'm not even joking. And it didn't work in the film. None of the restrictions or anything worked. It was only when they got the vaccine. When they got the vaccine for it, did it obviously stop people from dying. But yeah, like I've got to watch this film because it's probably gonna.
Same.
I
Yeah.
think it's
Link
actually
me.
gonna make people realize, like, hang on a minute, we should be doing these things when everybody's gonna die, not even less than 1%. Well, not
Yeah.
even it's even less than that. It's less than 0.01% or something. But there we go.
They love to put stuff in the films before like real life and that, don't they?
Yeah, but you know what's weird though? This film was created back in like 2000 and something. It's like so this film was made like a long time ago, but everything in it is literally apparently what's happening right now. Like everything they're doing. It's yeah. That's probably gonna be strange to watch. South Africa has headed into a 9 p.m. curfew. Ooh. Yeah, these curfews, man, these are just. I don't care what anybody says, right? A curfew? Come on, where's the logic? The virus is active 24 hours a day. What what person with a brain would say, I know what we're going to do. We're going to put a curfew at 10 o'clock because after 10, that's when it's most vulnerable. At the end of the day, the whole idea of a curfew is pointless because at the end of the day, right, okay, fine, let's just go with the point that we need to control the virus and stop the spread. Okay, let's say we do need to do that, then people just don't go out. There shouldn't need to be a curfew. Like, that's just the point of just trying to say, oh, I can create a curfew, it's almost like a power thing, because it's just stupid. It makes no sense.
Yeah, like even the like full lockdowns and stuff. Like I remember learning history back in the day, and like it was the people that were ill that were quarantining, and they used to like slap red paint across the door
Yes.
to not
Yeah.
like show that they'd been infected.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now it's
Yeah.
like they just put everyone into a lockdown,
Yeah.
and for
Yeah.
the small minority that are suffering.
Yeah. That's true. And you know, I'm, obviously I've had these discussions with many people. I mean, I've had some pretty brutal discussions with some people with opposing views, but
Yeah,
I give it to them factually. That's how I always win arguments is with facts. Not what you think. But I mean, if you actually look at the facts, like they reckon. I mean, they reckon only about 13,000 have actually died of COVID in this country. Of COVID, not with, of the flu, and they put it down as COVID. I'm talking of COVID. They reckon only around 13,000 died. Yet we have a great big 70,000 figure shown to us by the media every day. The film is called Contagion. Contagion. There we go. That's it. He's got it.
nice. Cheers.
Kevin's got it.
So
It's
that
like,
aside for later.
yeah, it's like the tier twos. It, like, what moron came up with the idea of a tier two? It's either everybody's in their home because, there's a virus, it's supposed to be deadly, okay? So, you know, it's like, have they not realized that they are the cause of this thing going over and over again? Like, think about it. If people still going to work and there's still human contact, it doesn't matter whether it's a socializing, work, whatever it is.
I think they done the tier system because they didn't want to make everyone like pissed because you put them back in a lockdown. So they put these tier systems in to like
Mm.
gradually, slowly put you back into a lockdown.
Yes. I mean, think
And they're
about it,
doing it
right?
right now.
I was in lockdown the whole of November, right? And then I got out for 2 weeks. I had freedom for 2 weeks to then say, oh, there's a new strain. Da-da-da. And I'm thinking, well, hang on a minute. Hold on. London and all of us were in lockdown the whole of November. How are you trying to tell me that it's spread that quick? It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, like the strain thing come out as soon as the vaccine was like announced.
Mm.
It's
Well,
like another thing to worry about.
well, I personally think that new strain is just a load of cobbles.
Yeah,
That's
me
just
too.
bullshit for them to turn around and say, "Oh, we now have to cancel," which they did, didn't they? They ended up canceling Christmas basically, by only letting people see one day. I mean, in my area, we wasn't allowed to see anybody, but I don't know. The only people who argue are people who haven't been affected by the lockdowns. Yeah, that's actually so true. Like, everybody's got secure jobs, secure positions, or people who are actually enjoying working from home. Like, you gotta remember, there's some lazy people out there, man. Like, or the people on furlough, they're loving it, because they're getting paid to do nothing. Doesn't affect them. They don't really care. So yeah, you're right. Those are the people. I sort of get all the restrictions, but the thing that's bothering me is that all of the government have not missed a paycheck since. Oh, mate, that is. I mean, look, obviously you're entitled to your opinion about the restrictions. That's fine, but I've got to agree with that. With what our elected officials, the rest of the country are taking a hit. They should say, you know what, we don't need. We should take half of our wage, or we should, because they're the ones that are putting us all into debt now for more and more years. And our generation, or my generation, will probably be the ones to pay it back, if not mine, the one after me. But where do you draw the line? When it's always someone else's problem. Oh, it's okay, we'll just borrow this. It's someone else's problem later down the line. But they say they care about our future generations. Like, it makes no sense.
No.
They're so contradicting. They say, oh, we need electric cars because we're trying to build a safer world and blah 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 for our future generations. But getting our future generations into the highest historical debt this country has ever seen, that's fine. For a 99.9% survival rate virus. Oh man, I don't know. I ain't even going. Oh yeah, that's discussion over.
It's a shame as well because there's like people that actually think the government are there to like help you and they want this to be over with and all this, and it's just not that way.
Oh yeah, I mean, you ever heard of a president? You would have heard of President Reagan, right? The old
Yeah.
American president. So he said something quite famously, and he said, whenever a government says that it's gonna help you, it's basically the complete opposite. Like, nobody should rely on the government to come to their aid. Government's never gonna help you. It's just not. It's not true. So yeah, I don't know, man. New strain came out on the same day as Brexit was announced, by the way. Yeah, that could have been too, because then as well with the new strain, it was a good chance, I suppose, for Boris to go ahead and get the deal done without any of the MPs kind of getting involved. But I don't know. People don't actually know how bad lockdown has been for some of us. Yeah, I know. Not even just that, like for the country as a whole. I mean, this is the other thing as well, right? This is the last thing I'm gonna say on this. Is I'll tell you why this hasn't been fair. I'll tell you why. Because all these people that argue against the argue for the lockdown, argue for restrictions. I'll say one thing. You haven't been shown an opposing view. Why? Because the media, the government. Okay, all right, Kelsey, you must have watched one of those government briefings, right, where you have Boris come up and you have Chris Whitty and
Yeah, oh
Vallance, and
yeah,
they're
I've
there
seen them.
giving he goes, next slide, please, next slide, please. Okay, did we have an economist up there showing the amount of unemployment each month by month, each week by week that is going down, or sorry, the unemployment that's going up and the jobs being lost by the restrictions? Did we have that? Did we also have a psychologist standing there saying, okay, well, here's the amount of mental health patients I'm now getting increasing a week? Did we also have another scientist standing there saying, well, actually, I disagree with the lockdown, and here is my view. Here is the way that I would do this, because there's plenty of other ways. They just haven't been, it's just not the way that they want to do it, right? So you got to think, right? Why do we have democracy? Why do we have all these things? It's always about opposing views, okay? When you're told that one way is the only way, when we're told that this is the only way, that is when I am extremely skeptical, because I'm a person, right? I mean, look at us as traders. All of you, look at us as traders. What do we do when we mark up the charts? We look for what? We look for buys and sells. What's the first mistake that people make? Is they're stuck to a bias. You know, if I was constantly looking for buys today, right, because the bias was bullish, I would have missed the sells. I would have taken a losing trade, right? It's exactly what the government's doing. They're only looking at one perspective. You know, they're doing one thing over and over again, and it just seems to be they're just sitting in drawdown. You know, otherwise they would say, okay, well, how can we take an opposing point of view? You know. And that's it. They haven't, and that's why we're in the mess we are, because they've never shown anybody the opposing side. You know, you've been told this is the right way, this is the advice from the top scientists, but actually there's thousands of scientists out there that they're not even telling you about that disagree with all of the things going on. You know, it's just crazy. So that's the only thing I'll say to anybody, you know. I said this to someone the other day. He was banging on like, oh, what would you do? And what would you do then? And I was like, look, it's not about what I would do, right? But let me tell you one thing. There's one thing I would do, and that is I would have a fair opposing argument for all possibilities that as a country could be done. You know, you have to have, not like a plan A, plan B, but you have to have some form of, what's the word, like, you know what I'm trying to say, like, you know, when we trade, we look for buys and for sells. You know, I'm never just looking for buys, I'm never just looking for sells, because we don't know what's going to happen. The same way, it was just stupid that they had this one-way channel thought. It's a group think. That's all it is. It's a group think, and group think never ends well. You know, that's why we have innovated as humans, not because of groupthink, but because of individual thinkers that think outside the box. That's why mankind has improved and has, you know, seen some great things happen. You know, if it was for groupthink, we wouldn't be nowhere. You know, so that's it. That's my last thing. So looking at GJ now, seems like it done a retracement. This candle's coming down to break this low. I think, yeah, it's pretty difficult to take any sells or anything at this point. I think, to be honest, the best thing to do is to wait for the 30-minute candle to close, because if the 30-minute candle closes bearish, there's a higher probability then for the next 30-minute to also continue down. So now you can start to measure the range and see if we have enough range. We have another support down over here at 14500, which is around 14 pips away. Because then if the 30-minute candle closes bearish, you can start scaling in then on the 15-minute. Because if you look at the 15-minute now, it's a little bit like messy, you know. It's a little bit difficult to look for a trade at that point. GCAD also continuing bearish. Look on the 15-minute. Yeah, same sort of thing here from the 15-minute. Similar sort of structure with GJ. So there had to have been maybe like an impulse entry there for price to continue down. FTSE still going bullish. Look at the 15 minute. Yeah, it's just still continuing up. Look at gold. Gold trying to create some support over here. But I'd be cautious of gold at this point. We're into the new 1 hour. We could see quite a deep liquidity grab to continue higher. We're also coming up to the close of the 4 hour here on gold too. When's the close of the 4 hour for GJ? 50 minutes. So I mean, higher time frame wise, for GJ to continue bullish, we would need price to be closing back above 14700. Like, that's the condition for higher time frame structure to continue bullish. But for the higher time frames to, correct this move, then we'd either need a close below 14700, and then we would need the next 4 hour to start breaking below 14500, and then we can eventually start reaching some of these lower areas. So yeah, I think it's going to be a pretty good idea to wait for the 30-minute candle to close. It's looking like a very similar structure to GBP CAD. EJ just still ranging. Still ranging. Euro NZD. So it looks like the 30-minute came down, but it closed with no wick to the bottom. So the next one is now retracing. Let's look on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, it's a little bit messy here today, Euro NZD. Didn't even check if we had any news here today. Something I do every morning. What am I doing? I just realized I didn't even check for news. Oh, we got news now. We got news in 15 minutes. We got manufacturing PMI. We got so we got some GBP news here. So probably the manufacturing PMI is going to be the most important. So they're expecting the same as last time. So let's look at the last month. December was slightly better. November was also slightly better. So maybe, I suppose because we had like Christmas, probably going to be good numbers, which would make sense for GBP obviously to go bullish. But I mean, current technicals are bearish, so we'll have to see. Okay, anyway guys, I'm going to be back in a minute. I'm just going to go make a little bit of food, a little bit hungry here. So I'll be back in around 10-15 minutes time, probably for when the 30-minute candle closes, but I'll look at it from a 15-minute perspective for you guys. So it does seem like if this 15-minute candle closes like a strong bearish, which it is, that the next one can continue down, but I mean, yeah, not enough range for the risk for sells at this point for anybody who obviously wasn't in, but I think there's a very high chance that it's going to continue down to 14500 at this point. Alright, I'll be back in about 10 minutes. Right. I'm back. Oh, looks like GJ continue moving down to 140, 500 over here. Wow. From the original entry, wow, runner could have been up around 40 pips by now. It's pretty good. Pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. So yeah, looks like it would have had to have been an impulse entry right over here, as this kind of created a top wick and then broke the low to continue down. Don't think there was enough range on this particular 15-minute candle to take sells, but if there's more range, then this setup also is pretty good. But there you go. So it looks like GJ sells with a move here today. Look at gold, see what gold's doing. Yeah, okay, so gold has created a support, but it's a very weak 30-minute candle. So yeah, probably I would be skeptical of any buys or sells really at the moment. FTSE still continuing. So once we create support, wow, from that entry moved up around another 70 points. Yeah, it's pretty good. GP CAD should be continuing down. Yep, GP CAD continue moving down. Also came to the next area, this 30-minute support over here. Euro JPY broke out yet. Ooh, yeah, there we go. So we've had a 30-minute candle come up and close above this area on the 30-minute time frame for Euro JPY. So I think Euro JPY should continue moving bullish now to 126.480. Let's take a look on the 15-minute. Yeah. See, Euro JPY, what's going to happen a lot of the times is going to be a little bit of consolidation here, and then it's going to continue because it's a little bit slower. But if this was like GP/JPY, then, you know, most of the time it's going to continue. But Euro JPY should continue moving bullish at this point. Let's look at Euro NZD. What happened with Euro NZD? Yeah, a bit messy here today, Euro NZD. Very messy. Yeah, so this 30-minute candle, when it came down and closed back below support, closing a wick to the bottom. Seems like there's a lot of issues in this zone here, so probably the safer sells would be below 1.69850, because then you have a nice clean range, like a 30 pip range. That's pretty good actually for a 30-minute time frame. Awesome. So yeah, EJ should continue moving up. GCAD, GJ. I think the 4 hours closing soon too. So 4 hours closing at this area. So obviously we need to wait and see kind of how we set up here on the smaller time frames. Oh, what's this? Oh, I like that guy. Jack Ma. I like him. He's gone missing. Oh. Yeah, this guy is very intelligent man. I don't know if anybody else is reading this, but apparently some guy called the president of China, a clown, and he went missing. How funny. That's not even funny actually, but there you go. Just thought I'd read that. Man, so he went missing. Must mean he's been nabbed. Who knows? Okay. So GJ's still continuing bearish actually in the last 16-15 minutes of the 4 hour. So if we look on the 30-minute time frame, we do have another zone over here around 140, 400 is going to be a good target for GJ to continue. Obviously, we have a minor support here, but if we look left, we can see that we had this strong support here. We had liquidity being generated in this zone. But then once we break this level, we look left and we see we have clean candles to the left. But I would say that we probably would incur some issues around 140, 150. Seem to be quite a tricky area there. So another target, and then once we can break that, then I would be like, okay, we can continue down at that point to around 140. I missed the trade. Could you talk me through when you took it and why? Sure. So the trade was taken based off the 30-minute time frame. So we see how the 7:30 30-minute candle closed below this support here that we had in the early hours of pre-London. So obviously we was looking at price and we were saying, okay, well, what's the condition for buys? Well, we had a lot of mess within this range, so I was saying, buys are probably going to be best above 141, 100. And then we looked at this candle, the 7 o'clock 30-minute candle. It came all the way up to this area, and then it retraced and it closed a week bullish. Didn't want to take sales within this range because we have support here. So waited for the 30-minute candle to close below this area, and then expected the next 30-minute to continue down. Now, obviously, my entry was based off the 15-minute time frame because the 30-minute candle, the stop loss would have been too big. So if we look over here, the stop loss would have been around 17 pips. It's a little bit big. So my idea was that if we look on the 15-minute time frame, the next 15-minute candle should respect the high of the previous 15-minute candle and then continue moving down. So that was the analysis there. So you could have taken sales on this top wick once the candle flipped, whatever your specific entry point was. But either way, once the 15-minute candle and the 30-minute candle both closed below, there's a very high chance for us to continue down. We look left. If we look left on the 30-minute, we have this wick to fill over here around 147.80. We also had a support over here. We had these clean candle to the left. So we had a support at 146.75, which is always going to be my target. You measure the range. It was enough range to take a trade. It was a 20 pip range. So yeah, as the 15-minute candle started to come down and fill the wick, secure positions and got in and out. If you even look on the 5-minute, there was also the structure forming on the 5-minute for price to continue. So we can see how we made a low with the breakout, with the retracement and the retest on the 5-minute, resistance formed, and then a nice continuation. So yeah, I hope that helps, George. If you have any questions, let me know. So yeah, I mean, if people left runners, then it would have been real nice. You know, runners would have ran around 40 pips at the moment. That's pretty good. If it was buys, if I was in buys, I probably would have left the position to run, because you know I was really kind of looking for buys based off the higher time frames. But I mean, yeah, to start the month, there's no reason why we can't pull back, create some further support to continue. So we'll just have to see how you know the day closes. 'Cause this whole move could easily get corrected in, you know, New York session and things like that. What was I gonna say? So if anybody's interested, there's a new video up on my YouTube right now. This video right. Oh, this video right here. So this is, so obviously we had the private group tour, but this here, this is the most updated kind of like intro to what's coming for the HFX trading group for the year 2021. So kind of gives you a little preview of the course that's coming for all the members. You're gonna have a full course now gonna be available, all the simulation sessions, all the webinars, all the refresher webinars, everything's going to be uploaded via this course. So it's going to be all in a nice, neat place. So you get to see the type of examples and stuff, what goes on in the group. So I would give that a watch. This video right here. So yeah, if anybody's interested, it's only a few minutes long, but it's going to give you a really good insight into actually what you get with the group. So this is going to come into place from the 10th, because obviously on the 10th of Jan, the mentorship price will be increasing, just because, you know, the level of content and the things that are going to be implemented are just, yeah, it's going to be worth it. I mean, I'm not being funny, but people charge like so much more for just shit. So it's like, you know, the amount that I'm producing and the, you know, the level of value that I provide is really, yeah, it speaks for itself. So that's kind of why. But there you go. If anybody wants to watch that, go check that out. Available on the YouTube. I've had no subscribers today. Need to keep them subscriptions going. See what gold's doing. A little bit of consolidation here. But yeah, if I was in gold, buys would have been right over here for a price to continue. Wow. Euro JPY looks, yeah, see the 15-minute candle closed bearish, but it's still closing above this area, so the buys are still valid. See, a lot of the times with Euro JPY, it likes to create like a support on the 15-minute time frame, and then for the next one to continue. But yeah, EJ kind of moves a little bit different. I've noticed the best moves happen between 7 and 9. Yes. Yes, I would agree with that because at 7 a.m. we usually see some form of volume start to come in. Around 7:30 is where I'd like to see us setting up for London Open, and then at 8 a.m. we usually get a push as well with London Open. And then if, let's say, between 7 and 8 or 7, 8:30 we still haven't seen a move, then by 9, 9:30, 10 we usually see some form of breakout or continuation. So yeah, I would agree with that 100%. How long have we been streaming? We've been going for 2.5 hours here today. Coming up for 2.5 hours. Okay. So let's do some analysis here on gold. So it looks like gold's trying to create a support. Looks like gold's creating a support. Let's look on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, so on the 15-minute time frame, we're going to see we have a support forming down over here. So, I mean, if you think about it, we have support forming. If this candle on the 15-minute time frame closes above this minor resistance, then there's a 80% chance that we're going to retest this high and then continue on to 1937. But actually, I'm thinking that we could consolidate and retrace a bit. But I mean, I may be wrong. We don't know at that point. Because the only thing I'm seeing is, we look at the 1 hour time frame, and we had a lot of strong bullish momentum, and now this 1 hour candle is closing, like a weak bullish, very small body. So the volume is starting to die out a bit. If you go on the 30-minute, you're gonna see this 30-minute candle close the weak bullish. This 30-minute candle also now just closed a weak bullish. If we go on the 15-minute time frame, the 15-minute candle kind of just closed at this level, so it is consolidating. So I would say the only way it's going to continue up is if it breaks the high of the previous 15-minute candle, and then it can continue moving up to 1935 at least. But I would say that there's probably going to be some correction to continue, I would have thought, but we don't really know at this point. The other thing as well is it can wick up and then start to drive down, because if we look at the 30-minute candle's open. The previous 30-minute closed weak. It did respect the low, but it made a lower high. So it's a little bit like indecisive. So probably, yeah, let's see how the 15-minute time frame does. So let's come back to gold. I'm out. Great start to the year. See you tomorrow, bro. Yep. See you, Freddie. See you tomorrow, mate. Well done. FTSE still trying to continue. GJ obviously trying to continue bearish. GCAD also trying to continue bearish. What's the next target for GCAD? Wow, man, GCAD's ran real nice since the entry. Wow, like 50, 60 pips. Huh?
It's just gone today.
Yeah.
Didn't stop.
I know, man. Yeah, literally it broke through the support, continued down to the next level, and then we now have another consolidation area. So it's probably going to hit the bottom of this range here too. Good job, bro. Time tomorrow. We're here every day from 7:30 a.m. GMT. So if you want to drop by tomorrow, pretty good. Yeah, so GCAD trying to continue down. EJ, how's EJ getting on? Okay, so if we look at Euro JPY, okay, let's look at this. So the 30-minute candle came up and it closed above this resistance. Now, obviously, we did have like a previous support here. Usually, I would say we need a support to form, but I see a lot of the times of volume, we just break up. We just continue breaking up. So if we look at the 15-minute time frame here, it seems like we had a candle come up, right, close above. The next candle broke the high, came down, closed bearish. So if I was looking for buys based off of this, then I would say, okay, if we break the high of this 15-minute, we can continue because we have a clean candle to the left. Now, it never broke the high. It actually came down, closed bearish. Now, as this current 15-minute candle is breaking the low, there's actually a higher probability that price is going to continue back into the range. So, I mean, based on the 15-minute time frame, the confirmations aren't really there. I would say that if someone's looking for buys on Euro JPY, probably want to see this 30-minute candle close bullish. Maybe something like this. Something like engulfing. Right, little wick to the bottom, and then you would expect the next candle to continue pushing because of this clean move to the left. But the problem we have here is that now the 30-minute candle is breaking the low of the previous 30-minute candle right over here. So now the probability for price to continue up is very minimal. See, now if you look on the 15-minute as well, yeah, see, it broke this low. That was the point at which I would be closing out the full position if I was in buys. So when the buys were taken, you had a 15-minute candle closing bearish, but it was kind of weak. So you might be like, okay, well, there's two things. If the next candle breaks the low, I'm gonna close 50%. That's a good decision. If the next one breaks the high, there's no reason to reduce risk. You just let the position run. But since the next candle then closed the bearish, but didn't break the high, that's the point at which I would then take some positions off, because then we look at the 30-minute. The 30-minute also closed bearish here too, because then you'd have to wait for a whole 30-minute candle to close in your direction for there to be a good chance for the trade to work out. And now you see it broke the low and it's coming back into the range. So EJ is a little bit messy here today. EJ is a little bit messy. Euro NZD also super messy here today. Euro NZD is quite messy. What's going on with GJ? If this 15-minute candle breaks its own low, I think it's going to continue down to 140, 400. I think we're going to call it a stream here soon as well. So yeah, I think we've had a pretty good day here today. I think it's pretty good to start the year, the week off with a nice winning trade. So I'm very pleased with that. It's a shame about the gold buys, because I was really looking to cash in on that. But yeah, it is what it is. I wouldn't like to take two positions at the same time, because then you got to manage two trades at the same time. If I'd taken the GJ sells first and then this happened, I would have taken the buys, but it didn't work like that. So if we look at gold now, I mean, the tricky thing with gold is that obviously it does a lot of liquidity grabs. So you have to be cautious. But since this 30-minute is breaking the low of the previous 30-minute, and we know that these were weak 30-minute candles, there's a higher chance that it can continue down. But I mean, look at this. Yeah, see, this is where gold can break hearts, man. I mean, even if you didn't take the impulse, because obviously that would be pretty risky, counter trend and all, even you probably want to wait for a candle to close below this minor support here is probably going to be the best option. But even so, like, it could do a liquidity grab and then come up and break the high and then continue on. So we'll have to see, because obviously that happens a lot of times on gold too. It doesn't quite move the same way in the same sense like how GJ would move. If this was GJ and it was breaking the low, I'd be like, yeah, GJ's heading down. But gold just can be a little bit different sometimes, I suppose. Oh, looks like EJ done like a deep liquidity grab there. So see how EJ does. I think if using buys, I would at least manage the risk, as it was coming down back into the range. I think should have at least taken something off. But it looks like it's pushing up over here. I think if it breaks this high, these two previous candles, that's the point at which EJ should continue moving bullish. So you have around 13 pip range. I mean, even if you didn't take buys, I think a good buy would be the break of this high, keeping the stop loss below the current candle, around 8 pips, and then expecting it to continue. But even if it closes bullish, you'd want the next candle to break that high and then continue on. Yeah, that's like GP CAD also going to continue moving down. And GP CAD was just a nice easy day. Resistance formed, continuation. In fact, GP CAD was the nicest setup because actually it broke below on the 30-minute and the 15-minute, and then continued in the direction. And then even if you missed that move, it came back to create resistance. So it'd have been a nice impulse entry sell, and then you could have rid that real nice. GJ was good, but could have been better. Yeah, I think the actual resistance was formed on the 5-minute. So right over here, the 9 a.m. 5-minute candle. So what we're going to see is, okay, let's look at it from a 5-minute perspective, just a little bit of extra education. Okay, so we see how this was the low that was created, and here are your retracement candles. So what we're going to notice, so here, let's do each candle as it goes, so we can actually look at the 5-minute as a little bit of confluence. So here we had a low being created. We had our first 5-minute candle. Not the strongest confirmation that the low has been formed, just because it's one 5-minute. So for a low to be formed on the 5-minute, we need like exactly this structure, you know, like a low, a retrace. So we get the retrace and then a continuation. Same as we would on any time frame. So when we look at this, we see how we have one candle, and then we look at the next candle, and the next candle closed strong bullish. So now we definitely have a low created on the 5-minute. We see the next candle wick down, also closed bullish. Body's now smaller, but it's because it created like a liquidity wick on the 5-minute to continue up, right? Obviously, liquidity is generated on all time frames. Just on the higher time frames, it's a lot easier to see because, you know, it's more obvious because it's usually a big rejection. But then here we see the next 5-minute can also continue bullish. We know that there's a zone here on the 5-minute because this was the previous low point, right? We also knew we formed resistance right over here where there was more sells off. So this is our next zone that we're looking for some form of rejection based on the 5-minute. So we see the candles going bullish. Next candle goes bullish, right? But we're noticing now the bodies are starting to get smaller. And then once we had this 5-minute candle close bullish, we notice how the body was really small on this candle. The body was really small. And then when we wait, because we're like, okay, well, we probably want to wait for, you know, a candle to close in our direction, right? And then we see how this 5-minute candle, engulfed the previous 5-minute candle and broke the high. So it's like a liquidity grab. Also respected this zone, you know, the previous zone, the previous low from the breakout, respected this zone, and the next 5-minute candle continued moving down to retest this low, right? And then we created further resistance here again on the 5-minute for the next 5-minute candles to also continue down. So obviously this requires a lot more experience to trade off the 5-minute, but actually looking at the structure, I mean, it's easy. It's really easy. You know, looking at the structure on the 5-minute was super simple. Super simple, but it's not going to happen like that every time. So that's it. But it's nice to see and give a little bit of different perspective from the smaller time frames. So obviously eventually, you know, I'm going to need to start looking at the 5-minute to gain some experience looking at the smaller time frames. A lot of the time I used to look at the 5-minute when I wasn't profitable, and it was what hurt me. And then now being profitable, looking back, you view the 5-minute and the 15-minute very differently. You know, it's not about waiting for confirmations on those times. It's recognizing recognizing the structure, the candles, reading what's going on in the smaller time frames to build a bigger picture. So when I spoke about in the 5 minute here, I looked at this 5 minute candle. I was like, okay, similar to this, right? Okay, perfect. Similar to this. See this candle here? See this structure? Very similar to what happened over here. Now, what we see is how this candle broke the high. So we would have continued up at that point. So that's why when this high was respected, that's why I was like, okay, if long as this high is respected on the 5 minute time frame, there's a better chance that we're going to continue down. And then once we had the 5 minute candle closing bearish, I was fairly confident then that this next candle would do some form of liquidity wick, break this low, which we also said again, and then continue down. So yeah, it was a really good day today. I think it's going to be, I think this is the time where I'm going to actually call it a day. So let's just do a little round off here, do a little bit of analysis for all the pairs, and then I will call it a day here. So let's start off here with gold. So looking at gold, obviously the 30-minute candle did break this low, but obviously we spoke about that a minute ago, how it's a little bit more risky. It's gold. It's, you know, gold just can break lows and then continue. So the best thing to do is to look at the 15-minute time frame. Now looking at the 15-minute time frame, we see how this candle came all the way down and it's closed weak at this minor resistance. So if we look at it, this is like a minor consolidation here now. So if I was looking for buys, I would say, okay, well, if we can break this high of the previous 15-minute candle, there's a higher probability at that point that we can continue up because of how weak the candle closed. So that's what that's my thoughts there on gold. If we break the high, I think it's going to be good to continue up, or you just want to wait for like a candle to break out of this consolidation area, because now it is consolidating. So the safer bet is always to wait for a close, but looking at the candles, I think there's a high chance it can continue moving up. Let's look at the 1 hour. Yeah, see the 1 hour time frame still open. See the previous 1 hour closed weak. Maybe needs to break the low of the previous 1 hour as well for extra confirmation of a sell. It seems to be coming back down based on the 30-minute. Probably want to be cautious though. I think on the FTSE. So obviously FTSE moved bullish today. Seems like it's making a high right now. But there was some good opportunities. Ooh. Sorry, pardon me. There was some good opportunities on the FTSE. It did create support over here. So there's a couple of opportunities. Right over here would have been my first, would have been the first point for buys. The second point when we created support, and then another continuation. So that's pretty good. That was on the 15-minute time frame. Let's go to GJ. So looking at GJ now, we can see that the 15-minute candle closed bullish. So it seems like we've made another low. 30-minute candle still open. So we're not really sure at this point whether it's going to go up or down. But it can retrace. It can retrace. Let's look at GP CAD, same sort of thing. But the difference with GP CAD is we have a range here, and if it starts to create some resistance below this range, then there's a higher probability that it's going to fill the whole of this consolidation, because we have clean candles to the bottom of this range, and we haven't quite reached the bottom of that range. So but you'd want some resistance to form here. Looking at Euro JPY. Ooh, so despite the support that was created, even though the 15-minute actually did break that high, seems like the next candle is starting to come down a bit, which can happen. So the best thing to do is obviously always wait for the 30-minute candle to close. That's going to stop that from happening. But then you're accepting that you may miss the move, because sometimes once the 15-minute time frame does create support, the next one's also going to continue with it. But you don't know that. You don't know whether this is going to be the one time it's going to work or the next time it's not. So once this candle closed bullish, I probably would have waited for a break of the high for getting into buys, because it kind of tapped into this but then just slightly closed below. I would just say a break of the high is going to be higher confirmation, because now you're seeing what's happening now is it's just coming straight down. Let's look at Euro NZD. Euro NZD was just a messy day. We did have support over here. Price came down, closed below support. The next candle we was expecting to continue down did come down around 10 pips, but then actually came back up in the range. It then closed back below this area, but had no wick to the bottom. So not enough volume. Sorry, not enough volume for us to continue in that direction. So I think now it's just kind of ranging. We have resistance over here. So yeah, price is just kind of ranging at this point for Euro and ZD. But there we go. Oh, looks like GJ's flipping bearish. Looks like once it breaks this low over here, it should continue moving down. I think that should suggest GCAD also should continue moving down. I think it's going to be a good target. Right over here. Look at gold. Gold also trying to continue down, trying to break the low of the previous 15 minute. Yeah, a little bit more tricky gold. Yeah, it's also the new 4-hour open too. So just got to bear that in mind. Oh, how did the GBP news come out? Let's have a look. GBP news came out slightly better than expected. It's pretty good. Nice. So if the GBP news was positive, yeah, it makes sense maybe why we had a bit of a pullback here from a technical standpoint, because we had this slight push up. But there we go. Okay, so I'm gonna call it a day here, guys. I think we had a pretty good day. We had GBP/JPY sells below 148.80. I was called out live at the start of the stream. Also called out gold buys if people were paying attention. If people were paying attention, I did say once we have a candle close above this minor resistance that gold will continue up, because he had a nice big clean candle. And if it wasn't for GJ, I would have been in these buys. But man, that's just how it goes. But there you go. So gold was the good move there. GJ was the good move. GP CAD sells also played out. You know, similar setup to GJ. 30-minute candle closing below around pre-London, London Open, and then the next one continuing down. It also created a resistance here too on the 15-minute, which gave and paved the way for price to continue. So another good move there. FTSE, we spoke about the FTSE. So I think all in all, to start the year and to start the week, I think it's been a good day. A lot of positive things have happened. We've had some good moves. So there we go. So I just want to say thanks to everyone for coming on. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. You get that notification when we go live. But if not, we'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:30 a.m. GMT. The live streams are back. We're back to normal now. So it'd be great to have everybody on as normal, back to routine, back to the grind. But there you go. Kelsey in the Zoom there, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, cheers, Harrison. See you tomorrow.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Have a good rest of your day.
You too, man.
Yeah, nice. And everyone on the YouTube, have a great day. No over trading, no over risking. Okay, if you've taken a trade this morning, I recommend you calling it a day. Go and enjoy the rest of your day. If you didn't and you missed the move, I recommend you just journaling the trade. See how you could have caught that move, and then again just calling it a day and going on and getting on with some other things. Okay, don't be glued to the charts. You're more likely to overtrade, over risk, all those things. Okay, so thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you tomorrow. Also, if you caught the sells this morning, please drop a like on the stream. Really appreciate that. But yeah, thanks everyone for coming, and we'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks everyone. See you tomorrow.